Remember these names: A.Z. Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
So game one, I already made a mistake. I put my touchdown prop bets in hours ago. When you and I started talking before kickoff, I got so excited and I bet him again without even thinking that I already did it.
Oh, I
was like, Jalen Hurts. I was like, and then I was like, wait, I think I already did this. And I scrolled down. I was like, yeah, you already did do this. And I was like, oh, it's okay. That's okay.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I'd give them no excuses for the mistakes that Lamar and that team made when they played Buffalo in the playoffs last year. But I do think they've done enough to improve the team in the offseason. I think the offense was way better. The defensive line and the offensive line played really well in the back half of the year last year. Almost all of that talent is back. And I think the Ravens are going to be right there.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
To your point, Greg, if anybody else is able to make a dent, it'll have to happen now. ESPN has had about 3% market share. Their goal is to get to 10% by next year. So if they can't make a big push this year and really see a lot of the new features that they put on their apps, a lot of the integrations with ESPN fantasy products, with ESPN, flagship products across the board, if those don't pay off soon this football season, it might be curtains for them.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. And what a great slice of Americana we had yesterday. Made me proud to be an American, as I know we're going to talk football today, but unfortunately on the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks and then the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we needed a little sense of country, did we not? And last night in the Bronx, New York, the sitting president of this country, Donald J. Trump, showed up at Yankee Stadium, shook everybody's hands, and then sat in a suite with the ownership of the New York Yankees. There he is talking to Aaron Judge. You're a big guy. You hit a lot of home runs. And he's like, I do hit a lot of home runs, sir. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit 2 for you tonight. Aaron Judge now has 46 home runs. Yankees win last night 9-3. And for me as a New Yorker, that just felt right. It felt like we were all unified as a country, rooting for the New York Yankees, watching the Mets blow a 4-0 first inning lead to your Philadelphia Phillies. But last night in New York City, I had an overwhelming feeling of gratitude to be an American because my president was with my baseball team, and my best player hit not 1, but 2 home runs. They're only 3 games out of the division lead, and America was back last night. Didn't it feel that way?
No.
I'm glad you agree. It was awesome last night.
What's happening?
I loved it. And the best part about it
I've known you a
is
long
that
time.
the Yankees jumped out to such an early lead.
is this happening?
It allowed me to go a click and go right over to football, right over. And speaking of America, what team in this country represents America any better than the Green Bay Packers? No one. They are America. The Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, going up against a team that's struggling right now. The Washington Commandos, who are now 1-1. And if you want to get into football, let's do that because Green Bay wins and they cover the 3, which is important to a lot of you. There's 2 kind of trains of thought here right now on what happened last night. Train of thought, choo-choo. Number 1, and I can't argue it. Matter of fact, I'm the guy, probably more than anyone else in America, that's fostering it, other than my main man Tunchi, my main man Lil Wayne, who I was texting with this morning, who thinks Super Bowl. He's thinking Super Bowl. I might have to get you pregnant, though. The Green Bay Packers look as good as, or as better than anybody. Their defense is lights out. Micah was great last night. Tons of pressure, had half a sack. And I got to tell you, I know it's only 2 games this year, and there's a lot of football to be played, and they lose another wide receiver, broken collarbone. Reed last night, what should have been a touchdown, comes down awkwardly, broken collarbone, not sure how long he's out for.
6 to 8.
Is that what it is? 6 weeks,
6
to 8 weeks?
Yep.
So very thin, to be fair, at wide receiver, but they bring out that dude, what's his name, Clark at tight end, who looks like the second coming of Gronkowski. I never heard of the guy in his 3rd year in Green Bay. He was money good last night, arguably their best player, right?
Yeah.
Jacobs, I love running the rock. But Green Bay right now is the team to beat. Philadelphia, all respect. You're the defending champions. You probably lay claim to that more so than Green Bay does. I'll be fair about that. But 2 games in, I want to be honest with the American public. And I told you 34 years ago, I would never lie to you, and I've never lied to you. Jordan Love's pretty good. That Jordan Love, who I was down on last year, I thought we created this mystique that Jordan Love was better than I actually saw. And I know it's only 2 games, so there's a small sample size. That dude makes all the throws. Now, to be fair, there was a lot of checkdowns, to be fair. A lot of checkdown throws on both sides yesterday. But when he had to let her rip down the field, he can let her rip. Jordan Love has been fantastic. And do not sleep now. Get on that wagon now. The Green Bay Packers are right there with the Philadelphia Eagles as the favorites to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely right, and I can't fight you on it. I would love to. My original conference championship game was Eagles versus Packers, with the Eagles winning. That's what was my preseason prediction.
I don't remember you ever saying that.
It looks really.
If you want to change it now, that's fine.
The producers have it. On paper, I sent it to them.
It's fine.
Okay, I'm just saying they have it. They have it. So I have documented proof of this.
Okay.
No, they look like world beaters.
They do. They look awesome.
like world beaters.
Now, the flip side of that conversation, and this is something we're going to get into a lot, throughout the day today and probably all next week, you're going to hear a lot of hate thrown Jaden Daniels' way. You're going to hear a lot of, sophomore slump. Oh, maybe he ain't that good. And that's from people who don't have the PhD in football that I happen to possess. Thank you very much. From the School of Hard Knocks. Jaden Daniels has not looked great. I think we'd all own that right now. The offense did not look great against the New York Giants, scored 21 points, and the New York Giants defense is better than what a lot of people think it's going to be. So I thought that was a pretty good performance, actually, scoring 21 against what's a very good defense. And then last night, they didn't look great on offense. They just didn't. Even the Deebo Samuel touchdown is in garbage time. A lot of the ultimate yards that he threw for, and he only threw for, 220, 240, whatever it was, last night, came late in the fourth quarter
200.
when the game is 200.
200,
when the game is totally out of whack, and they're just trying to pad their stats. But if you think after watching the first 2 games that Jaden Daniels isn't every bit as good as he was last year, you're just not paying attention. Because last year, Jaden Daniels didn't throw for 5,000 yards.
No.
Jaden Daniels didn't throw for 30 touchdowns last year. The best part of Jaden Daniels' game last year was how money good he was in the fourth quarter, because they won like 7 straight games on the final possession. And the fact is, he did not turn the ball over all that much. 9 picks all of last year. So if you extrapolate out his numbers thus far, 2 games in comparison to his numbers last year, they're dead on. They are dead on. He's on pace right now to throw for about 3,500 yards. He's on pace right now to throw for less than 30 touchdowns. He's got 3 through 2 games. Now, he's going to have a game this year where he throws for 350 and runs for $1.25 and has 5 total touchdowns. That's coming when he plays against a lesser team. But if you wake up today and you try to come up with something clever to talk about from last night's game, and the best take you have is that Jaden Daniels did not start off this year as well as he played throughout last year, you're wrong. And for those of you that listen to other shows out there and other football pundits, I guarantee you today there's going to be a TV show, a podcast, a web thing, whatever, where they're trying to break down the sophomore slump of Jaden Daniels. But football is a game of statistics, and the stats don't lie. He is on pace, actually, to have fewer interceptions because he hasn't thrown one yet, 8 quarters into this season. Jaden Daniels is not a problem. Jaden Daniels is not playing lesser football. If you want to know what's wrong with the offense of the Washington Commanders, it ain't Jaden Daniels. I'll tell you what it is. Terry McLaurin looked terrible. A couple good catches, but overall, that's supposed to be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Maybe we need to practice summertime. Maybe we need to go to practice and go to training camp so when the season starts, I'm ready to rock. Number 2, I know Deebo Samuel had the late touchdown and did make a couple guys miss on a couple other possessions. Deebo Samuel looks like he's 300 pounds. That does not look like the Deebo Samuel of San Francisco. So perhaps while everyone's yelling and throwing stones at Jaden Daniels, we can actually take a look at his 2 biggest wide receivers who are not playing great.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. The best player when the game mattered was Zach Ertz. He was the best weapon when the game mattered. Once it got to garbage time, guys got some yards. Zach Ertz is your number 1 weapon. I'm a Philadelphia fan. I know what that looks like.
Yeah, he's good.
It's good,
but Zach Ertz can't be your number 1 guy.
Not if you're going to win the Super Bowl.
It's got to be McLaurin.
Right.
It's got to be Deebo.
Or somebody else.
It's got to be running the football.
Right.
And then you could go to Zach Ertz. But look, Green Bay Packers are here for real. Yeah, I mean, they are the best team right now in their division. I know Detroit's got a big game against Chicago on Sunday. But right now, the Green Bay Packers are the favorites to win that division. And I put them right next to the Eagles. They are every bit as good right now as the Philadelphia Eagles are.
They're really
and
good.
Wouldn't I love right now, I'd sign up for this today. Philly, Green Bay, at Lambeau, NFC Championship game. Yeah. I'm here for all that
That's
smoke.
what's going to happen.
I want it. Tell you the other thing I want. I want your birds. And I hate it because I hate Philadelphia. I am heavy in love with Philadelphia embarrassing Kansas City on Sunday. Can't wait because the panic is setting in. We'll get into it. It's going to be a great chat.
Sharpest football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath. When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
To your point, Greg, if anybody else is able to make a dent, it'll have to happen now. ESPN has had about 3% market share. Their goal is to get to 10% by next year. So if they can't make a big push this year and really see a lot of the new features that they put on their apps, a lot of the integrations with ESPN fantasy products, with ESPN, flagship products across the board, if those don't pay off soon this football season, it might be curtains for them.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson here as well. Picks coming up a little bit later on this hour. Got to be honest with you, got in a little bit of trouble last night and really put my son Anthony in a bad spot because last night was our Meet the Teacher night. And, typically, I know it's going to sound sexist, I don't mean it to be. That ain't for dudes. That ain't for dads. Dads meet the teacher when something goes wrong. Right? When it's the third day of school and all the parents come back to meet the teacher, that to me is for my wife. That ain't my job. But I got softer in my old age, so I said yes. I went, and with the one caveat, at 8:10, because I live close to the school, I'm out the door. I am not missing Green Bay, Washington last night.
Fair.
And my wife had an interesting take. She goes, just watch it on your phone at Meet the Teacher night.
That's rude.
And I go, isn't that rude?
That's rude.
And she goes, all of a sudden you're worried about being rude? I go, good point.
Yeah.
So we go to the school last night. You know, it's on Prime. It was an Amazon Prime game last night. Yeah. So ping, 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 I got Prime on the phone. And my son takes Latin. Don't ask. I failed him as a father, I know. And I'm sitting in Latin class, and the teacher loves Latin. So I'm like, it's 8:14. This seems like a good time for me to put on the football game, which I do. And you put it sideways, right? So now I'm just sitting there in the back of the room, and I'm watching it. And I felt like I was in school last night because the Latin teacher goes, Mr. Carton, your thoughts?
You had nothing.
And I go,
you got
my
nothing.
thought is that Green Bay looks really good thus far on the opening drive of the game. And I got cold busted. And I come home, and my son goes, which one of my teachers did you like the most? And I go, I got to be honest with you. You're failing Latin this year. And the kid loves Latin. And he's like straight A's in Latin, right? In junior high school. He goes, what do you mean I'm failing it? We haven't had a test yet. I go, just trust me.
It's not going to go well for you.
I go, you're going to have to drop Latin because the teacher doesn't like me. Well, why doesn't the teacher like you? Well, I don't know. I was watching a football game. And you're only in each class for like 10 minutes.
Right.
They give you the curriculum and whatnot. And, not good. So I walked out of the Latin class. There were 2 more classes to see. I go, babe, I'm just going home. At this point, I am just going home and watching the game there. Green Bay, of course, wins. They are the team to beat right now. Philadelphia, against Kansas City will be a big game. Now, if Kansas City beats Philly, then Green Bay is the team to beat in the NFC. And then Kansas City can say, all right, take a deep breath. We're fine. I just don't see that happening. And well, I know both teams have changed personnel a bit, and in theory, I don't believe this, but in theory, the Chiefs' offensive line should be a little bit better. When I saw them in Brazil, I learned about that defense. You can throw against it. Well, that was a situation with the Chargers, whose offense, to me, is not as good as the Eagles' offense, right?
Right.
Saquon out of the backfield, catching the ball. Obviously, he's a stud runner, only ran for 60 yards in game 1. But the wide receiving core of the Eagles is far better than what Justin Herbert and the Chargers have. So Philly's going to throw the ball successfully against them on Sunday. I think you can run against them as well because you have Saquon Barkley. The reality of this game is that there's a lot of people that just can't get it through their heads that we're going to live in a world where the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be 0-2. Very few teams in the history of the sport, and I went into the Angels last night, and I checked it. Very few teams have ever started a season off 0-2 and either A, made the playoffs, or B, actually gone on to a Super Bowl. The last time I remember doing it, I think it was the Dallas Cowboys when Emmitt Smith was holding out.
He held out, missed the first 2 days.
And went back to school, the whole thing.
Yep.
And then Jerry's like, no. We got to pay him.
Here's some money.
And they went back. They won the Super Bowl that year, right?
Yeah.
But you look at Kansas City's schedule, I'm gonna give you the win against the Giants. I'm giving you that, right? So they're 1-2 after 3. They're not beating the Baltimore Ravens I saw against the Bills.
Nope.
They're not beating that team. That team's playing with revenge, of course. I don't know what the Jaguars are going to be. I'll give you that win. So now you're looking at a team that I think 5 weeks in is 2-3 at best.
Yep.
I think they come out of the gate 0-2. And there's a lot of belief that I have that you don't find out what a team really is until they face some level of adversity. I think the old quote is, adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it.
Yep, that's the same.
I think, right? That's my guy, Inky Johnson, who I love. One of the best public speakers of all time. Go get him, Ink. So when they go 0-2, that's going to be uncharted territory for this collection of guys.
Right.
These are great football players. You probably have at least 3 Hall of Famers, Chris Jones, Mahomes, and Kelsey on the roster. Maybe another 1 or 2 I'm not thinking of, right? Obviously, Andy Reid's a Hall of Famer. Steve Spagnuolo is a Hall of Famer, I think, as a defensive coordinator, right?
Great.
So from my perspective, we're going to learn a lot about Kansas City all week long when they're 0-2. I already know about the fan base. The fan base is already in full-fledged panic because the fan base recognizes that the Eagles are a better team. This is a team that just beat you by 40 7 months ago, and all their key players are back. And Jalen Carter is going to be on the field, right? So for me, the situation then becomes, all right, we're not going to change the legacy of Patrick Mahomes in a Week 2 game. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. The best quarterback for my money still in the NFL, right? But I think it's time, and we'll get more into this next segment as well, where we start putting a little more respect on the name Jalen Hurts. Because for the last 5 years, when we talked about Patrick Mahomes, it was an accepted fact that the only AFC quarterback you would trust to go head-to-head against Patrick Mahomes in a big postseason game was Joe Burrow. And I'm smoking on that Joe Burrow, right? It was, Josh Allen's not going to beat him. He didn't. I know Josh Allen had the great game, the 13-second comeback, but he lost that game.
Lost that game at the end. Yep.
We know the Lamar Jackson story in the playoffs against Kansas City, but Joe Burrow was the guy that you had total faith could go into Arrowhead. They were calling it Burrowhead for a couple years and beat the Chiefs and Mahomes. And the reality is this. I saw the Cincinnati Bengals Week 1. They were terrible offensively. They had 7 total yards of offense with Joe Burrow. All Jalen Hurts does is win. Since 2022, the dude is 38-10. He's got the best winning percentage in all of football. Head of Mahomes, head of Allen, head of Lamar. So we got to take a break here. Is that what you're saying?
Those are the top 4.
So, all right, so the reality is that it's time we start talking about Jalen Hurts the way we did talk about Joe Burrow. If the Eagles win on Sunday, he goes to 3-1 against Mahomes. And after a very quick break, I'll give you more proof that Jalen's him.
The sharpest football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
To your point, Greg, if anybody else is able to make a dent, it'll have to happen now. ESPN has had about 3% market share. Their goal is to get to 10% by next year. So if they can't make a big push this year and really see a lot of the new features that they put on their apps, a lot of the integrations with ESPN fantasy products, with ESPN, flagship products across the board, if those don't pay off soon this football season, it might be curtains for them.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. His pick's coming up in about 35, 40 minutes or so. Eagles-Chiefs is the game, which also made me think. I was looking at the schedule. Yeah, walk me through this. I know it's the 4:25 game, so it's a big game, I guess, on Fox. Is it Fox or is that CBS? Does anybody know? The 4:25?
I'll find out.
Let me know. I think it's the Fox game, but you can tell me from. Because I think the big game for CBS, believe it or not, is Jets-Bills. I think that's the Romo Nance game. I think the Burkhardt Brady game is. It is. Yeah. Eagles Chiefs. That makes sense to me. But what I'm trying to figure out is, you have Minnesota, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. You have 2 games on. That's the Sunday night game. Pardon me.
Yeah.
The Monday night, we have a doubleheader on Monday night, which I hate, by the way.
You can't watch them both.
Right. The Monday night doubleheader, you have Tampa, Houston, I guess is the early one, and then Chargers, Raiders is the late one.
That's
Chargers
the
and
10
Raiders
o'clock,
both
yeah.
1-0, by the way.
Yeah, there's a 7 and a 10.
Yeah, and if Philly beats Kansas City, the Chargers-Raiders game is for first place in the AFC West.
Yep.
I know it's crazy early, but you only got 17 of these games, so that's how I kind of look at it. So if I'm the NFL, I know why Fox wants it. I know the networks can each protect like a handful, small number of games.
And they did protect
which obviously Fox would have protected it. But if I'm the NFL, don't you want Philly, Kansas City either Sunday night standalone or Monday night late? And I do not like the Monday night doubleheader. Not everybody gets to sit in a palatial mansion with multiple TVs on. Right. And now I got to pick which game, by halftime, now I got to pick which game I'm going to get tuned into. I want to watch both games.
And people have work.
Yes.
People have work.
I don't care so much about the work thing.
That's a late night, though, for most people that got to work Tuesday.
We make it work. We make it work, right? We're football fans. We ain't bitching about a 10 o'clock game, a 9 o'clock game. We find out a way to make it work. But I don't want 2 of them games. I'm not sitting there with 7 TVs. I don't have 2 TVs, meaning now I need one of my kids' laptops to work and to open up so I can keep an eyeball on that game
Only the
and an eyeball on that game.
Only the beginning, because it's 7 and 10. And you're back to school night phone.
But that's true. But what I don't understand is why wouldn't we make the best game of the week, the biggest game of the week, the Super Bowl rematch, by the way, a game that features something that's never happened before, which is quarterbacks that have lost to each other in Super Bowls going head-to-head in the regular season. That's never happened before, and I'm just trying to figure out why that ain't prime time. That being said, the Eagles win that game. They're slight favorites on the road at Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs have not been underdogged at home in 3 seasons now, which tells you all you need to know about where we are today with Kansas City. And the bloom is off the rose. But what is it going to take for Jalen Hurts to wake up and be regarded as, forget about top 10, forget about top 5, but to be regarded as, let's say, top 3? Because top 5 seems easy. You've got Mahomes, you've got Lamar, you've got Josh Allen, you've got Joe Burrow, you've got Jalen Hurts.
Boom.
I think those are your 5 best quarterbacks. I love Herbert, but he's not 5 yet. You at some point have to make the playoffs and win a playoff game.
And Love is moving that direction as well.
Jordan Love,
moving in that
2
direction.
games in,
yeah.
I think Jordan Love might be 6 right now. He's dead. You're right. That's a fair point. Jordan Love thus far this year
looks great.
Is moving up. He's certainly top 10 and better than that. I put him 6th right now. And he's had some playoff success.
Yes.
He went into Dallas and laid a smackdown on the Dallas Cowboys and came a couple minutes away from going to an NFC Championship game a couple years ago. But if Jalen Hurts does what I think he's going to do against Kansas City and drop a 30 burger on them and have a couple running touchdowns and a couple passing touchdowns, can we finally say that the list then becomes Mahomes is still 1? Oh, yeah. I think we all got to agree on that.
Yes.
I'll go Josh Allen 2. Reigning MVP, put a 40 burger on the Ravens and came back down 15 points 4 minutes ago. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of pushback if I make him 2nd.
You won't.
And to be fair, Jalen's been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. Josh has never sniffed a Super Bowl.
True.
I think he's better.
That's fair.
Not by a lot.
That's fair.
But I do think he's better. But I love Lamar. I love Lamar. If you want to debate Lamar and Jalen Hurts, I'm down for it. But Jalen's there. He becomes part of that conversation, unless you're Jess, and I was for a long time, a Philly hater, and you just can't find anything good or positive about anything Philadelphia related. And I respect that. I lived that life for a long time.
You did.
But every single week I watch this dude play. Every single week I'm reminded that the Jordan brand does not sign a lot of guys to rock the airman. There's a reason MJ picked Jalen Hurts.
You're absolutely right about that.
Right?
Absolutely. And there's a new hoodie that dropped this week.
Can I get it?
Yeah, I bought it already. $75
Extra
for the
large.
hoodie.
I'll just take care of you, boy.
Yeah, I got
you. So looking forward to that game. We'll actually give a pick on that game a little bit later on. Much more football coming your way. There's a bunch of other good games, including in the NFC. We'll get into those games, and we have some headlines coming up as well right here on the Craig Carton Show.
Nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
There's a little bit of a kerfluffle earlier today when there's an exception taken to a putt that wasn't given, and just the reactions were pretty unilateral from both sides of like, hey, that's not behavior that we're going to tolerate at this type of competition.
Can you talk to me about kerfluffle again? Can you run that word back? I've never heard that word before.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Who wants to go to Chicago in February for a Super Bowl? Hey, the NFL can host outdoor parties on Lake Michigan. Stop the madness at this point. But now I take a look at the Denver Broncos. Always fun in the Mile High City. Why? Because what a home field advantage. It's at elevation. It's going to be cold. It might snow, and Denver's going to have that advantage. You know what Denver goes? We're going to build a world-class facility that's going to be a dome.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. I want to say what's up to the thousands of people watching on the SportsGrid Twitter account, everybody watching live on YouTube right now. The laptop is on its way, folks. I will have a computer in front of me at some point next week, and I'm very excited about that.
A lot of
little
shout-outs
disappointed
in the chat. A lot of shout-outs to you people. Happy to see you, Craig.
Thank you.
So, in the chat.
Everyone in the chat, I can't chat till next week. I promise I will, but we appreciate you checking us out. And tell your friends, tell your friends. The show's live on YouTube and on SportsGrid every morning, 11 to 12. A little disappointed last night. We kind of broke our streak. I'm a little upset about that. Not a single dildo. Not one. Not one.
Not a single one.
I mean, I'm watching that game going green. I know the Packers were rocking those white unis, and I'll say this: fire! Love the white uniforms. They're going to look
Did you like
great.
the helmet?
I love the white helmet. In December in a snowstorm, you're not going to be able to see people. That's going to be great. But I got to be honest, I'm watching a game, especially in the fourth quarter. What's that say right there? That's a big helmet.
They say you got to make this cooler.
Wait a minute.
That's the helmet for concussions that every player has access to, but so far very few have actually worn.
That's obviously AI.
That's not AI.
You can't wear
he wore
that
in the game. No, he played.
You can't wear a helmet that big.
He caught a pass on the left sideline in that big ass helmet.
I could have played NFL football if I was allowed to wear a helmet that big.
You're allowed to play, but most players don't wear it because of aesthetics.
Why would anybody wear that? That's stupid. It makes you look like a dork.
You know what's going to be really cool, though? The 40th anniversary of this team when they're in their 60s and 70s, and his brain works. So that'll be real cool.
Yeah. He'll be the one guy thinking clearly.
Yeah, I'll organize.
Everyone else will be eating dinner through a straw. Yeah. But no dildos last night.
No.
So for those of you that were keeping count, Green Bay is a dildo-free city, apparently, as of last night. Which, I mean, you think when I think about Green Bay women.
I mean,
I'm just saying, I never would have thought it would have been a dildo-free city.
Are you suggesting?
I thought for sure there'd be plenty of them. Like, honey, open the drawer, get the one from 76 out.
Yeah. Do you think that accent would be a turn-off during?
Yes.
Okay,
but that's why they invented duct tape. So that's all good. Look, as you go into week 2 of the NFL, it's a really strange week for every single team that lost in week 1. Because of the fact that we talked about with Kansas City, it's very hard in this league to go 0-2 and then make the playoffs, let alone have a chance for a Super Bowl. So teams like the Detroit Lions, teams like the Chicago Bears, they happen to go head-to-head. So one of those two franchises is going to wake up Monday morning and you are 0-2. And you're in a division with what looks like really good team, the Green Bay Packers. And, we will see what the Minnesota Vikings are over time with J.J. McCarthy. But the Lions or the Bears are waking up 0-2.
Yep.
And obviously when you're a fan, it's like, there goes the season. Like, it's not even your Halloween yet. We're not even at what's the big Columbus Day yet? Yeah. And my season's over. And I was trying to think of all the teams that started the season off 0-1. There's a variety of 0-1 teams, right? There's teams that played well but lost. Baltimore Ravens. They scored 40 points, blew a 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go. They went home saying, we should be 1-0. And they put up enough points where you should never lose a game in which you score 40 points. So they feel a lot differently about themselves than, say, the Miami Dolphins do. The Miami Dolphins did something, I guess, a couple days ago that I don't think I've ever heard of, read of, or seen. And just for those of you that don't know me, I spent a few years of my life in 2 different cities as an NFL beat reporter on the radio. I traveled with and covered the Cleveland Browns back when Belichick was the head coach of the Browns. And I did the same thing in Philadelphia when both Ray Rhodes was the head coach and Rich Kotite was the head coach. So way back in the beginning of my career, I do have the chops of having been a reporter and covering football at the NFL level. In my lifetime, I've seen a boatload of players-only meetings in sports. We've seen them. Typically, when you have a players-only meeting, you're in the middle of a long losing stretch. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You don't want any of the adults in the room because you're going to talk honestly amongst each other without ratting anybody out. And it's kind of like a come to Jesus type of thing. They rarely work. There's a rare example here and there where the players-only meeting galvanized guys, and all of a sudden you run off some crazy win streak. But in my lifetime, I have never seen a team that had a players-only meeting after week 1. The Miami Dolphins just did. And say what you want about Mike McDaniel. Say what you want about Steve Ross, the owner. Say what you want about some of the talent there, like Tyreek Hill, right? Like A-Chain. Like, there are some guys that can play. But if you're having a players-only meeting after a week 1 embarrassing loss on the road against the Indianapolis Colts, the season's a wrap.
It's over.
If you can't talk in front of the head coach who's supposed to be the most player-friendly guy in the league after 1 game, it's a wrap. Meaning we will go into the 11th year of Chris Greer as GM without a playoff win. We will go into a 5th year of Mike McDaniel as the head coach without a playoff win. The 5th year of Tua turned the ball over without a playoff win. And we're at a place now where the Miami Dolphins should be spoken about in the same exact room as the Carolina Panthers have been spoken about, as the Texans used to be spoken about. And think of every bad team. The Jaguars, right?
Unfortunately, the Jets many times.
I'll take it.
Unfortunately.
I'll slurp that up.
Unfortunately.
I'll swallow it. Yeah, the Jets. You're now in that conversation. And I was doing a little research on how bad the Dolphin run has been. Because there was a point when the Miami Dolphins were money good every single year. They're in the playoffs.
Right.
They're in the playoffs.
Not a Super Bowl, but playoffs.
They're in the playoffs.
Yep.
The double-digit win squad, right? I know I'm dating myself, going back to the 80s, but that
every
happened.
year. Duper and all those
right?
guys. Yeah.
Heck, Chad Pennington won a division title with them as the starting quarterback, right? Here's the research I did. Do you know which iPhone existed the last time the Miami Dolphins won a playoff game? Now, to be fair, in the Mike McDaniel Tua era, they've been to the playoffs twice. They lost that freezing cold game at Kansas City. Mm-hmm. They lost to Buffalo without Tua. He was out because of the concussions. Right. Which iPhone existed the last time the Miami Dolphins won a playoff game? Just take a quick guess. iPhone what?
2.
iPhone 2.
It's a guess.
Judges say, Sorry, Tyrone, not iPhone 2. Want to take one more gander at it while we're here amongst friends on a Friday morning?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the original iPhone.
The original iPhone, which is now known as iPhone 1, I assume. Survey says
That was a trick question.
The iPhone didn't exist. Think about that.
The Razor phone was the top phone.
I think we were still BlackBerrying it. I think so, yeah.
Come on.
Or had the Nextel flip phone with the walkie-talkie on it.
That was good. That was a great phone at the time.
My favorite phone of all time, by the way.
I remember when you had that phone. Yeah, it's a good phone.
Talking people all over the world. Yeah, the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since before iPhones existed. So the fact that they're now having a players-only meeting, it's a wrap. And at some point, we will look back at this era of football and we'll try to figure out who were the most overpaid guys in the league, who were the most underpaid guys in the league. And good for him. Like, I don't begrudge guys making money. Great for you. You're done. You're set for life, right? But the argument will be made, and should be made, that Tua Tagovailoa is the most overpaid, overhyped, overvalued quarterback in the history of the NFL. We talked about him. I remember guys on TV all the time. He's the most accurate passer I've ever seen. You know, he throws the out pattern better than anybody. I talked about him like with superlatives, like he was the second coming of Joe Namath, right? At the end of the day, Tua's not good, and the Dolphins aren't good. There's a chance Mike McDaniel gets fired before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And I know he got a 3-year extension a year ago, so I guess that means he's got 2 years left on the extension. But man, oh man, a players-only meeting after one game. And then I'm trying to figure out which player called the meeting. It can't be Tyreek. He don't want to be there.
No, he hates
it. It can't be Tua. He stinks. So what Dolphins players got the credibility to call a players-only meeting? And at a day like that, it made me feel a little bit better about being a Jets fan. Just a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. A little bit.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
There's a little bit of a kerfluffle earlier today when there's an exception taken to a punt that wasn't given, and just the reactions were pretty unilateral from both sides of like, hey, that's not behavior that we're going to tolerate at this type of competition.
Can you talk to me about kerfluffle again? Can you run that word back? I've never heard that word before.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Who wants to go to Chicago in February for a Super Bowl? Hey, the NFL can host outdoor parties on Lake Michigan. Stop the madness at this point. But now I take a look at the Denver Broncos. Always fun in the Mile High City. Why? Because what a home field advantage. It's at elevation. It's going to be cold. It might snow, and Denver's going to have that advantage. You know what Denver goes? We're going to build a world-class facility that's going to be a dome.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Time for some news and notes as we get ready for week 2 of the NFL after last night's big Green Bay win against Washington. Green Bay looks like a dominant team right now. Here's your news and notes. To start off with baseball, New York Mets last night scored 4 runs in the first inning and then didn't get another hit and lose and get swept. I think it was a 4-game series, right? Against the Phillies. They get swept. It's never happened in the history of baseball for a team to score 4 or more runs in the first inning and have nobody else reach first base. They didn't get a walk, let alone a hit. Philadelphia mowed him down. 25 consecutive batters went down. Struck out the side in the ninth in what still was a close game. And the Mets lose. I think only a game and a half up now on the final wild card spot.
And one in the loss column.
Yeah, against San Francisco, right?
San Francisco and Cincinnati.
There you go. So, and they lose the tiebreaker. I noticed Cincinnati. I'm not sure about San Francisco. I think they have the tiebreaker against San Francisco. One more baseball story. You saw that Donald Trump, President Trump, was in New York, obviously the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, went to the Yankee game. And then after meeting Aaron Judge before the game, Aaron Judge hit 2 bombs last night. He has 46 on the year. But the key thing here, Aaron Judge last night tied Joe DiMaggio all-time home runs as a Yankee. He not only trails Gehrig, Mantle, and Ruth. And when I hear those names, there's still a part of me, because similar to you, I'm just too young to have watched any of those guys ever play. I sometimes feel like we invented them. Like they're not real.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wait, he just tied Joe DiMaggio?
Yeah, it's insane.
Joe DiMaggio's like a guy you read about. Like, I never saw Joe DiMaggio play.
Of course you did. And Mickey Mantle, you mean to tell me, you hear these stories about Mickey Mantle, you go, what? Mickey
Mantle? Anyhow.
He was really doing all that, then showed up to play the game, hit 500 home runs? He's drunk.
That's true. He's got a long way to go to catch Gehrig. But it just, I saw,
he will catch Gehrig.
These people were real. They lived. They walked the earth with us at one point. So good job by the Yanks. They're 3 out of first place, but they own the wild card, number 1 wild card spot. Another news and note for you. I didn't know that Wheaties was a thing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not a cereal guy anyway. Hate cereal because I hate milk. But apparently the Wheaties box is still a thing. And your guy's on the cover of it.
Yes, indeed.
Jalen Hurts is on the cover of the Wheaties box.
Yeah, he is.
I can't tell you if I've ever seen a Wheaties box in the last 5 years.
Well, if you go to this, they still have it at, I don't know anybody who eats Wheaties. I think Wheaties, listen, if you would like to sponsor the show, we love you, Wheaties. I personally don't know anybody who's ever eaten it.
I don't eat cereal, but I thought Wheaties died the same death as 7-Up.
I ate cereal. 7-Up.
I'm a big 7-Up guy, but
7-Up, the alcohol of soda.
The alcohol of soda.
Nobody drinks 7-Up without booze. It's the alcohol. Just like the eggplant is the meat of vegetables.
I got to work on that one.
It is. Okay. It is. Just trust me. The logic, it tracks.
All right, so eggplant is the meat of vegetables.
Yes.
7-Up is the booze of sodas.
Soda, yes.
That's a tough one.
You never see anybody eating eggplant. They're using it as a meat replacement. They are.
No. You don't replace the meat with eggplant?
Yeah, instead of a chicken parm, you get the eggplant parm. That's what people do. Nobody wants to just eat eggplant. It's nuts. Nobody wants to do that.
I never replaced chicken with eggplant. I like both of them.
Yeah.
No, all right, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
People lie.
Cleveland, off of their tough loss to the Cincinnati Bengals last week, did not eat any eggplant at all. Chicken parm for everybody.
That's right.
But here's a little story from Tony Rizzo, who covers the Browns for a long time in Cleveland, and I've known him, since 1992. The Cleveland Browns signed kind of under the radar Bailey Zappi. Remember Bailey Zappi in New England? So they signed him to the practice squad. But it turns out that when they're running scout team offense, Shedeur Sanders is not allowed to touch a football. So right now, Joe Flacco's the starter. That's not going to last all season, obviously.
Right.
Then you've got 6'6" Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, under 6 foot.
Their first round draft pick this past year.
Third round.
And then we all thought, because they traded Kenny Pickett, that Shedeur would be the emergency quarterback or number 3, and in practice, at least get some reps running the scout team.
Maybe.
Makes sense. But according to Rizzo in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders isn't even on the field for anything. He's a bystander watching practice. And I happen to love that. Because for everyone out there that was yelling and screaming about how the Browns were disrespecting Shedeur and the NFL disrespected Shedeur, if a dude can play, you find a way to play him. Period. Stop. So the fact that he started the season off as the 3rd quarterback, and now we're finding out he's 4th behind Bailey Zappi, in addition to Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco, tells you all you need to know about whether or not that kid could ever be a starting quarterback in the NFL. The answer is no, sir.
So why do they keep him?
Because they drafted him.
So
and
cut him.
You can't cut a first-round draft pick.
He was a
because then it looks like you don't know what the hell you're doing.
He was a 5th-round draft pick.
I mean, you can't cut a fifth-round draft pick.
Fifth-round draft picks get cut all the time.
You
can cut him. That doesn't make sense. At this point, he's a hostage.
Well,
you should cut him. Someone else will make him the third quarterback.
The reason they're not going to cut him is because of what you just said. They're not going to cut him because in the highly unlikable situation where he gets cut and gets immediately picked up and is on an NFL roster, and whatever team picks him up, their guy gets hurt, and they go to Shadur, which again is, you smoke more weed. Like, it ain't happening, right? The reality is that Cleveland would then have to answer to their fans, their good fans, about how'd you mess that one up? Why'd you draft him at all if you never had any plans for him to play? Now, Cleveland's answer would be, we didn't realize how bad he was. But as soon as we did, we Josh Rosened him. We cut bait because we're well aware dude can't play. But it's interesting, 1 week in, that they went out of their way to get somebody else to run the scout team offense, at least according to, like, I'm not there, you're not there. But that's a dude who's covered the Browns for a very, very long time.
It says something.
I think it does. Yeah. I think it says a lot. And final thing for you, news and notes. Look, the sport of boxing is dead. It's been dead for a long time. I love boxing. I love martial arts. I love combat sports. I'm all about it. Give me bare knuckle fighting. Obviously, give me UFC. If you have a good fight, if there ever was one, I'm in for it. Canelo Crawford. Netflix. And I want this to be a great fight. I think they're already saying it'll be the 3rd or 4th highest pay-per-view event of all time in the sport of boxing. I can't see how that's possible. Canelo's 90 years old. Many people think Crawford doesn't have the power to knock him out because he's got a rock jaw. But I'm going to watch it.
Going to watch it.
I'm all in for it. I think it's on Netflix, and I'm going to watch it. But if this is the best the sport of boxing has, you might as well just put it 6 feet under and stop doing it. Because it's now unwatchable. We're actually having a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather. And that'll get more attention than any fight this year. Picks coming up right after this.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. As we get you into the weekend, Tyrone's picks are coming up in a second. One just random thought. I was watching some more UFO videos this morning. If every UFO is like that cylindrical, kind of like sled we used to have back in the day, why don't we build planes that are like that?
Because that's not how UFOs would actually look.
No?
No.
Like if
You need propulsion, so being round doesn't help
but
that.
if they figured out how to do it, I would think we should start building things. Like every UFO is a disc, right? I don't see a single plane that looks like a disc. I don't know. I just thought I had.
Also, we worry about profits.
Well, yeah, also very true. Real quick, there's a thing out there from lazy broadcasters who don't take the time to do any research at all and just throw crap against the wall, hoping it sticks for clicks, which I just can't do that. That, Kansas City, who appears to be in need of a wide receiver because of the injury to Worthy, although he will be back this year, is going to make a play for A.J. Brown of the Eagles. And the notion of that is because A.J. Brown only had one catch and target in their Week 1 win against the Dallas Cowboys, that A.J. Brown's going to be pissed off and he's going to demand a trade. So two things on that. Jordan Schultz, our NFL insider, did a one-on-one interview with A.J. Brown, and A.J. couldn't be any happier. He's like, they doubled me and zoned me all game, so we went other way. He goes, I wasn't even a decoy. I wasn't open. He goes, and I'm good with it. I blocked. I did what I could.
And we won.
But it was one game. We won the game. And they did everything they could to stop me, which made other guys open and available to have bigger games. He's like, I'm good with it. So I got to trust what the man says. Number two, let's say he wasn't good with it. Let's say A.J. Brown was miffed about Week 1. Yeah. We've seen wide receivers get upset about not getting the ball. A.J. Brown is a $90 million dead cap hit this year and a $49.5 million dead cap hit next year. So just do a little research, like open a book just once in a while and recognize that A.J. Brown is untradeable. The only guy in the league today more untradeable than A.J. Brown is
Tua, whose dead cap number is $124 million this year and $99 million next year.
The Dolphins cannot trade Tua. They can't cut Tua. So let's just, I know people want clicks and, look, I got 9,000 views on my website. Great. Good for you. A.J. Brown ain't going anywhere because they can't get rid of him even if they wanted to. And facts, he don't want to go nowhere. Why? Because he makes a lot of money, he's got a rock star quarterback, and he's on the best team in football. Duh. Now, we got some college football this weekend as well. Notre Dame A&M, like Notre Dame, to blow them out. And then you got the Georgia-Tennessee game. Rule of thumb, never go against Georgia unless you're in a car with one of them. Outside of that,
oh my God.
Too soon?
Well, a little bit.
Too soon?
A little bit.
Never go against the Bulldogs. All right. Tyrone, he's got a 3-pack of picks. He is 500 thus far with his picks on this show. What is pick number 1?
Well, you've been talking about it all week, Craig. Pick number 1, I like the Eagles, -1.5 versus the Chiefs. Love them. I think they win by a touchdown or more, but 1.5, I think they cover.
I don't know. To me, the Eagles could be favored by 10 in this game. I'd take them anyway because, and I don't gamble because I can't gamble responsibly. If you do lose your pick, don't chase it with a dumb pick. Just take the loss and suck it up and move on to another week. I'm with you. I like Philly to win the game. I don't care about the spread. Go.
Number 2, I like the Lions -6.5 versus the Bears. I'm worried about Caleb. The more you've talked about it, made me research it more. It's a problem. The Lions are desperate. I like the Lions -6.5 against the Bears. They're also a desperate team, 0-1.
Yeah, whoever loses this game is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble because you're now in last place in the division. The division's obviously very good. One just quick thought on that. I agree. The Lions were embarrassed against Green Bay. We now realize how good Green Bay is. Chicago is not as good as Green Bay. And there's already some infighting in Chicago where a lot of people want to blame Caleb for missing the wide-open DJ Moore for a touchdown. The OC came out and said it was DJ Moore's fault.
Ran the wrong route.
He ran the wrong route. But for me, maybe he did run the wrong route.
Adjust.
If I'm the quarterback and my best wide receiver is wide open for a touchdown, I throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
So I put that on Caleb. I don't care what DJ Moore did. There's going to be panic in Chicago.
Absolutely.
I'm with you on Detroit as well. I think they blow them out. What's your third
and the third pick? You brought up the team meeting after week 1. Patriots also went 0-1. Someone's got to finish second in that division.
Ooh.
I like the Patriots +1.5. I like the Patriots +1.5 versus the Dolphins. You give me a 1.5 against the Dolphins.
You like picking bad. The first 2 games I'm with you. They're premier games. So we're going to want to watch them anyway.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody watching New England and Miami.
Well, I'm a turn.
Let alone putting money on it.
Patriots +1.5.
This is why I give these little warnings. That ain't a game to bet on, man.
Don't bet any of my games if you don't want to.
No. People bet based on what you say. And people are going to call me up on Monday going, yo, your boy cost me money.
3-0.
Do not place a wager on two bad football teams.
Patriots.
Because when you lose, what do you expect? Either way, you put your money on a bad football team. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. We're back live Monday morning, 11 a.m. on YouTube and SportsGrid. Have a great weekend.